I'm Liv, welcome back to my channel Endless Pages, and welcome to today's video, which is These Books Will Self-Destruct. Hello, welcome to These Books Will Self-Destruct. I have done this trend before. I can't remember how many times, once or twice I think, and I have never successfully carried through with it, which is a surprise to no one, especially myself. But I'm in that period between Christmas and New Year where I'm thinking of 2025 and the year to come, and I have that like naive, I guess, positivity about the upcoming year where I think, you know, I'm going to be super productive, I'm going to change my whole personality, and I think I'm going to be able to carry through on this. But anyway, we'll see. So the idea of this trend is you take a bunch of books off your shelf or your Kindle or however you want to do it, and if you don't read them within 12 months, you unhaul them. So I picked 10 books off my shelf that have been sitting there for a while, I've never really thought to pick up, etc, etc. So if I don't read them within 12 months, then I will unhaul them. I hope that made sense. Let's jump straight into the first book, and that is Hotel Magnaqueef by Emily J. Taylor. I have a feeling this will be too YA for me, but I could be wrong, but I just have a really bad feeling this is going to be really, really YA and I'm going to hate it. But I think this is about this hotel. It's kind of giving me what's that book? The Night Circus vibes, because it's like a hotel that changes location every night. That's very Night Circus-y. Night Circus is a carnival that changes locations every night, and it only stops in the same place once in a decade. So this hotel comes to her town and she wants to get jobs for herself and her younger sister. She gets a job and she's swept into a world of opulence and adventure, but she soon finds sinister cracks in the hotel's decadent facade, and the girls have to discover the secret behind the hotel's magic and the real cost of this glittering life. Next up, we have two similar books. We have two dark academia books. I don't know why I purchased these, to be honest. I don't think dark academia is my thing. I think this was back when I was making silly book purchases and just buying them because other people were talking about them and other people love dark academia, but I don't think I'd like it. But I'll give these books a fair go before I unhaul them. I haven't heard anything horrible about them to make me unhaul them without reading them. So we have Deadly Education by Naomi Novak. Probably more like her other series, Uprooted, probably more than this, so I don't know why I bought that and not Uprooted. But this is a school of magic. Our main character is prepared for the school's many dangers. She possesses a dark power strong enough to level mountains and wipe out millions. Except she might accidentally kill the other students too, so she's trying her hardest to use it. That is, unless she has no other choice. The other one is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I think I just bought this because she's a popular author. This is about 6 magicians who are gunning for a chance to win incredible power within the secretive Alexandrian society. So we follow 2 enemies. We follow a telepath and an empath and a bunch of different people competing to win this secret society entry. They travel to the society's London headquarters. Each must study and innovate with an esoteric subject areas, and if they can prove themselves over a year, they'll survive. At least most of them will. I feel like between the two, this one I have a better chance of liking than this one, even though this one's way more popular. But we'll see. I could surprise myself and love dark academia. Next up, we have Mackenzie Lee's Gamora and Nebula. So I have previously bought Marvel YA books. I bought Loki, who, quote me if I'm wrong, might be by the same author. Let me check. It is. Loki is also by Mackenzie Lee, and I unhauled that earlier this year. Spoiler, I haven't filmed an unhaul video with that in it yet, but I unhauled that earlier this year because I just seemed really, really YA and maybe a little bit young for me. So this is her other book, another Marvel retelling about the sisters Gamora and Nebula. We could have the same issue as too young for me, but I don't know why This one I want to give more of a chance. I think maybe I also read the first couple of lines in the Loki book and was like, no, not for me. And I heard, I think it was Zoe talk about it, and she was like, this is not good. So this one I haven't heard any negative things about. I'm assuming this is just like a retelling of their story. Yeah. I feel like I've been reluctant to pick this up because I'm really feeling that Marvel fatigue. Marvel used to be my whole identity, something that I absolutely loved and would never shut up about. But in recent times, as we all know, Marvel quality has been just atrocious. So I think even I am starting to feel that Marvel fatigue. So this might be a bit of a struggle to pick up. Okay, book number 5. We are now halfway through the list. Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee. This says, history is told by the conquerors. Across the Western world, museums display the spoils of war, of conquest, of colonialism. Priceless pieces of art looted from other countries kept even now. Will Chen plans to steal them back. A senior at Harvard, Will fits comfortably in his carefully curated roles. A perfect student, an art history major, an artist, a perfect son, the American dream. But when a shadowy corporation reaches out with an impossible and illegal job offer, Will finds himself as something else as well. The leader of a heist to steal back 5 priceless Chinese sculptures looted from Beijing centuries ago. His crew is every heist archetype one can imagine, or at least the closest he can get. Each have their own complicated relationship with China and the identity they've cultivated as Chinese Americans, but when Will asks, none of them can turn him down. If they succeed, they earn $50 million and a chance to make history. If they fail, it's not just the loss of everything they've dreamed for themselves, but yet another thwarted attempt to take back what colonialism has stolen. I think what probably really caught my attention with this book was probably the heist aspect, as well as exploring the colonialism side and the identity side. So I've never had the urge to pick this book up, like ever. It has sat on my shelves, ignored for so long. I think I saw Sash recently read this and she didn't mind it. I don't remember her raving about it though. 6 and 7, I'm too lazy to check, but I'm like 99% sure that these have been in a self-destruct video of mine before. So this time is for real. Like, if I don't read these 2, they are gone. They have been sitting on my shelves for so effing long, and I have tried and attempted to read both of these books at least 2 or 3 times and cannot get into them. Don't ask me why they're not just an unhaul. I don't know. That would be logical, but for some reason I want to force myself to like these books and I want to keep trying to finish them, but I don't think I do like them. But they're going on the list. I know it's not logical. Let me live in my own weird logic, okay? So book 1 is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is book 2 in the Caravel series. Book 1 I gave 4 stars. I loved it. This, I've tried physically reading it. I've tried audio, same as this one actually, and just can't get into it. Just doesn't have the same vibe as the first book to me. This is about 2 sisters. One of the sisters wants to escape a bad marriage, so they go to this kind of show called Caravel that only appears once a year, and except one of the sisters like vanishes at the start, and turns out the whole competition of Caravel this year is around the sister, and whoever finds her first wins. So the other sister gets pulled into this world of like puzzles and actors and has to try and find her sister and gets drawn into the magic and the danger of Caravel. Gave it 4 stars, loved it. This one I can't get into. We follow another round of Caravel with a different story this time, I think, and we see more of the other sister's perspective, which is why I don't think I'm liking it as much. I remember not liking her perspective as much. The other one is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I know if Sash, you're watching this, you're probably just screaming at me, just DNF it. I can't unhaul this without giving it one more final go. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I feel like I now have a love-hate relationship with V.E. Schwab. I loved her previous works, like, what's it called? I can't even remember. I mustn't have loved it that much. Vicious and Vengeful, and I love The Darker Shade of Magic, well, the book I had read in that series so far, but I didn't like The Near Witch, and I didn't mind Gallant, but this one I just can't get into. It's so slow paced. The writing is beautiful, but the pacing is so slow and the plot is like non-existent. follow a girl from France from like the 1714. She wants to escape marriage. She doesn't really want to get married, but you know, that's the only really option for a woman at the time. And then she makes a deal with this guy that she will be able to leave and not get married, but the deal has some nasty twists. She can live forever, but she is remembered by no one that she ever meets. So like, if you meet her and then leave the room, come back, you'll forgotten who she is. So you follow her through her life, yeah, not being remembered by anyone until one day somebody remembers her. Yeah, I just remember this being so boring. So one more final go and then I'm officially giving up on this book. I don't know why I can't unhaul these two without one final try. I feel like any other books I just would have given up. Don't know why these two are the ones that I'm like so strongly attempting to read, but it is what it is. Book number 7 is The Midnight Liar by Marie Rukowski. I don't even remember what this book is about, to be honest. This is about Niram. She lives in a place where crime is in abounds and a harsh tribunal rules, and society's pleasures are reserved for only like the high people. Life is quite grim and punishing. People of her low status are forbidden from sampling sweets or wearing colours. You either follow the rules or pay and suffer the consequences. She keeps her heads down and keeps a dangerous secret close to her chest. She encounters then a guy called Sid, a rakish traveller from far away who whispers rumours that the high people possess magic. He tempts her to seek that magic for herself, but to do that, she must surrender her old life. She must place her trust in this sly stranger who asks, above all, not to be trusted. Book number 9, second last, we have The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. This is by Mark Haddon. I think I got this because it was like $2 at a book sale, secondhand book sale. And I was like, this is a popular classic-y kind of book, right? But I don't know if it's my kind of thing, to be honest. We follow 15-year-old Christopher. He has a photographic memory. He understands math, science, but what he can't understand are other human beings. When he finds his neighbour's dog lying dead on the lawn, he decides to track down the killer and write a murder mystery about it. But what other mysteries will he end up uncovering? Book number 10, we have Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fouquet. So, I think I started to try and read this and I was like, oh, this is boring. It's kind of academic-y. We follow Emily who studies fairies and she goes to this kind of like small area to try and find the elusive fairy called the Hidden Ones. And there is also like her academic rival, and she also has to try and balance the mystery of trying to find the fairies with who Wendell is, who's her academic rival, and what does he really want. To find the answer, she'll have to unlock the greatest mystery of all, her own heart. Yeah, I think this is going to be boring. I think this is not at all going to be what I thought it was, and I think it'll be boring and I'll hate it, but I'm going in with a great attitude by the sounds of it, but we'll see. We'll see. I could be wrong, but I remember this kind of being boring and soft DNFing it at the time. Which is disappointing because this cover is just like stunning. So thank you so much for watching. That was the 10 books that I will unhaul if I don't read them within a year. I hope to be pleasantly surprised by some of these books, even though I've seemed to have gone in with a really bad attitude towards some of them. Some of them I already know I probably won't like and probably will be unhauled, but you never know. I could be thoroughly surprised. Let me know in the comments below, have you ever done a self-destruct list? Have you read any of the books on my list? Which one should I start with? And what was the last book that you unhauled? Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of my content and give this video a like if you enjoyed. And I will see you in whatever the hell I post next. Bye!